Workers accepting the voluntary separation packages at Grand Lucayan expected to be paid in a matter of days. Workers on Ocean Key alleging mistreatment by management. And the spelling bee taking place today.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, some progress to report regarding the payments of severance packages for employees of the Grand Lucayan property. Line staff at the Grand Lucayan Resort who have applied for voluntary separation packages are expected to receive payout sometime next week. According to President of the Commonwealth Union of Hotel Services and Allied Workers, Michelle Dorset, the Minister of Tourism, Dionisia D'Aguilar, is now leading the process and has given the green light for the Lucayan Renewal Holdings Board to finalize the matter. Dorset says the union received payout documents today and officials are now in the process of reviewing the information. She says so far it appears as though workers who have applied for the separation packages will get what they are entitled to, including back pay and gratuity. Now 163 line staff have applied for the voluntary separation packages. Dorset says she's grateful to Minister D'Aguilar for working tirelessly to bring this matter to a close. The government purchased the Grand Lucayan Resort from Hutchinson Whampoa last September for some $65 million. Well, concerns coming in tonight from workers over in Ocean Key. The employees telling ZNS News that they are not happy with the current working conditions and are appealing to the powers that be to step in. The Ministry of Labor officials giving their take on these allegations as well. Here's the report. It was billed as an excellent opportunity for Bahamians who have skills in the construction industry to be a part of a mega project on Ocean Key near Bimini. The $200 million development is said to encompass a cruise port, boutique hotel, and marine park. Hundreds of Bahamians applied, but now reports coming into our newsroom from Ocean Key workers say the dream of working on that key has turned into a nightmare. Our ZNS News team spoke with some employees who claim that they are working under inhumane conditions. Initially, the company offered room and board, 3 meals a day, as well as transportation to and from the key. However, they charged that while they have been provided with room and board, there are 8 persons residing in one small room and using one bathroom. As for meals, employees say that they are oftentimes given leftover meals mixed with fresh food. These workers allege that they face verbal abuse on a daily basis and are threatened to be fired if they speak up. There are also allegations of immigrants working on the key who do not have proper documentation to work in the Bahamas. The Ocean Key workers say they live in fear of intimidation, and the last time some employees spoke out, they were fired for voicing their concerns. Now these employees are calling on the relevant authorities to look into these matters, as they claim that they are being treated like second-class citizens in their own country. Our ZNS News team reached out to investigations officer at the Labor Department here in Freeport, Tasha Bullard Hamilton, who says she, along with other persons, have made several trips to the key in recent times to investigate a number of these claims, including the food situation.
The chef is a French chef, and so most of the meals, or primarily their meals, consisted of French cuisine. And the Bahamian staff, work crew that's down there, wanted to see an introduction of at least some Bahamian cuisine.
But that is yet to be rectified due to the fact that the company orders food trailers a month in advance. However, the Labor Department has been assured that once these items are depleted, a Bahamian menu will be introduced. She says the cramped living conditions is another area that the Labor Department brought to the attention of management at the Key.
Now, Ocean Key is just that, a key. And there's no building outside of the trailers that had been brought into the key for housing. I believe that management is in the process of bringing in a retired ship, a cruise ship, that is no longer in operation, and that is going to help to alleviate the congestion where it relates to the overcrowding.
And here's what she knows about the verbal abuse allegations.
We have expressed to the project manager to speak to the supervisors that that is unacceptable and should not be a part of the day-to-day operations or a treatment that the employees should have to undergo. So it is our hope that that situation will no longer be in place. But if there are cases that can be documented and these supervisors or management personnel are in fact expats, then of course those concerns can be taken to another department, another ministry.
Now, we've also heard from the workers today that some of them who would have spoken to the Labor Department while you were there were terminated. We know a few of them have been terminated for speaking out. Are you aware of this?
I can say that there were some terminations. We were advised that there were some terminations. However, the company has expressed to us that those individuals were terminated for cause. I'm not certain whether or not any of those employees would have come into the Department of Labor and filed a dispute for those terminations. But I am aware that there have been some terminations. When we spoke with the project manager, he said that some of the employees that came to the key came with expectations that were not met. They came stating that they were skilled to perform certain tasks and that they were not qualified for those positions. And so those would have been some of the reasons for the terminations.
The employees have told ZNS News that they have lost all confidence in the Labor Department. However, Bullard Hamilton leaves these words.
I want them to believe that, again, I cannot reiterate sufficiently that the Labor Department does take their concerns very seriously. And in fact, 2 weeks ago, I personally paid a visit to Ocean Key. A report has been prepared for the Director of Labor, Mr. John Pinder, which I know he will communicate to the Minister of Labor. So their matters will be heard at the minister's level. So I want them and I encourage them to continue to voice those concerns to us.
In other news, Attorney General of the Bahamas, Carl Bethel, noting that improving the speed of justice is a continual process in the country. He says the most pressing issue right now is the establishment of a court to deal specifically with sexual offenses.
That is where there is the greatest and most egregious delay. Unfortunately, we were exploring a source of funding through an international agency that has an ongoing project with my office and the Ministry of National Security. And at the last minute last year, they told us that they were not going to fund it because we proposed to rent the building. After we'd spent over nearly a year working on getting a court ready for the sexual offenses matters.
Plan of action.
We are now seeking, hopefully in the midterm, to have the government allocate the money so that we, the Bahamian people, will pay for our own court. But after all, we already borrowed it, but they didn't want to lend it for us to build it, but they waited long to tell us. So it was a great disappointment for us that it came so late in the day, and because we confidently expected that this year we would have had a sexual offences court up and running in Nassau. So we will, in due course, hope to do it during the course of this legal year. Okay? If we can get that sexual offences court up and running, it will also assist us in clearing more of the backlog cases more than 5 years old that have languished.
In other news, a traffic accident just in front of the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King yesterday, causing damage to the church's perimeter wall and sending one person to the nearby hospital. The accident involved a black Honda Accord and a white Nissan March. The collision reportedly sent the Honda spinning out of control. It then crashed and mounted the wall in front of the church. The driver of the Nissan was taken to hospital by ambulance with non-life-threatening injuries. The condition of the driver and passenger passenger in the Honda is not known at this time. Investigations are continuing. Meanwhile, a 36-year-old Abaco man sentenced to 5 years at the Bahamas Department of Corrections by Justice Estelle Gray Evans in the Freeport Supreme Court this week. Antonio Simonet, a.k.a. Snake, of Dundestown, Abaco, was convicted of causing grievous harm to Justin Nottage and Wellington Roker during a shooting incident in Abaco in October of 2016. Initially, Simonet confessed to the shooting, but later recanted, and a full trial was convened. This week, the jurors in the case found Simonet not guilty of the attempted murder of Nottage or Roker, but guilty of causing grievous harm to the two victims. The 5-year sentence takes effect on the date of sentencing. Well, a 35-year-old mother of two killed in a boating accident in Abaco overnight. While reports are still sketchy as to what took place, unconfirmed reports say the woman, a resident of Fire Road, missed the regular ferry from Green Turtle Key and was catching a ride to the mainland when the incident occurred. Reports say the woman and the captain of that boat were en route to North Abaco when the boat reportedly hit a rock near Hog Key. Police say officers were called to the area and found a white 28-foot boat with two 250-horsepower engines had run aground with the two occupants on board. Police say the captain of the vessel sustained serious injuries, while the female was found unresponsive. She was taken to the Marsh Harbor Medical Clinic, where she was pronounced dead by a doctor. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death, and investigations are continuing. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.